welcome to Ed Up. It's all about what's trending in education. The month of February should be exciting, not only because it's the month of love, but because schools here in New Providence, Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma are in full gear in preparation to resume face-to-face learning. Now, school administrators for the past few months have been putting in place mechanisms to ensure a smooth transition from virtual instruction to the hybrid model of learning. Now, in some instances, this may present a challenge where there are larger student populations. So today we're going to chat with the principal of the C.C. Sweeting Senior High School to see how the process is shaping up there. But first, the question of the day, BJC General Science. Our team took to the streets in search of the answer. Which of the following does not transmit sound? A, gas, B, liquid, C, solid, or D, vacuum?
D, vacuum.
D, vacuum.
D, vacuum.
D, vacuum.
I don't think sound could pass through a solid.
Okay, so your answer is?
I'm going to go with solid.
D, vacuum.
B, liquid.
D, vacuum.
I would guess vacuum.
That one may have been a little tricky. The answer is D, vacuum. Stay with us. Our chat segment with the principal of C.C. Sweeting Senior High School is next. Welcome back. We're here with Mrs. Roll, the principal of C.C. Sweeting High School. We are so glad that you've joined us, Mrs. Roll.
Welcome to King Cobra Nation, where we're striking for excellence.
Let's get right into it. What is the student population here?
We most recently got to the 700 mark, which is an accomplishment for our school as we ended last academic year with 555 students.
We're now transitioning from 100% virtual to the hybrid model of learning. What plans or preparation are you making to ensure that there's a smooth transition to this hybrid and getting the students back face to face?
Well, I will say that, Ms. Williams, we have been planning very systematically, and we've been very strategic in our planning. As a matter of fact, the plans for hybrid school or the blended model, it didn't begin in January. We actually began to work this plan even in September, when students returned. So we looked at models as they came in, and we refined the models. So for example, when they began to come in for national exams in the first sitting, we came up with a model of what should be done in a COVID environment. And then when they came for the second sitting, we refined the model. When they came for the orientation, we would have done some things differently. Likewise, for the two report card date distributions. We've looked at the personnel in the first instance, and we've sought to provide training for our janitorial staff. We would have done at least 2 professional development sessions with them over the last 8 months. Then we would have looked at the teachers, of course, looking within our departments, seeking to inform and engage our subject coordinators with the help of our VP of curriculum as we looked at the timetable, and really fine-tuning that as we went along. Then we also looked at the infrastructure. How can we accommodate 2 grade levels on any given day? What are the needs? We began by preparing with signs, and again, it didn't just take place in the last month. Room capacity signs that are around, the signs that speak to physical distancing. You have your signs that are placed in various areas like the tuck shop, the entrance of the school, and the like, thermometer checks. And then we began to look at our school partners, such as the nurse. We've actually had the school nurse re-engaged, and we sat just recently and talked about scenarios, because again, all of these things will bode well for us if we're prepared for the opening of the hybrid model.
Okay, and with that said, are there any particular challenges that you are probably encountering throughout this process getting ready?
I think for us, the greatest challenge, and I think all schools may attest to this, is that schools are social environments. Students they love to engage their classmates and the like. And so even from, as I indicated previously, the beginning, we've been really trying to address the issue of physical distancing, the mask wearing it appropriately. And so in my mind, that may pose the greatest challenge. Again, students and teachers, they've, over the years, engaged in a very intimate way in terms of if a teacher needs to show a student something, they may go near to them. So these are the practices that we've had over the years, albeit really good practices that we now have to adjust.
Parents play a very important, a critical role in their child's development. So how are you engaging parents throughout this process to ensure that they're ready for this transition?
Parents play, one may argue, the most pivotal role in the life of a student who is in particular in the senior school. Believe it or not, we don't want our parents to drop them off in grade 10 and to pick them up in grade 12. And I think we've all noted that after we would have had that initial shutdown, parents would have noted the role of the teacher, and likewise the teachers and the administrators have noted the importance of parents and their support. And so again, with our parents, we've sought to find a variety of ways. Just recently we held grade level meetings where we met with parents of grade 10 in a Zoom session, grade 11, grade 12, and we addressed specific issues with them. Additionally, we've tried to give support to our parents who may not be comfortable either using the technology or the various platforms. Many of my administrators have reached out to parents, called them. Teachers have engaged parents, have allowed them to come with their students just to assist them with getting on the platforms. And we've tried to keep the lines of communication going with our parents, because we know their role is crucial in students achieving academic success.
Great things are surely being done here at C.C. Sweeting Senior High School, Mrs. Roll. And finally, what are your hopes for the remainder of the school year?
I hope that we would, having gone through and continuing to go through the effects of the pandemic, that students will not lose hope. The world has changed, and for many of them, they have depended on the support of their teachers and, of course, their parents. And sometimes where there's some degree of isolation or there's not that point of contact, we may lose some of them. And so my hope is really that they don't quit, they don't give up. They dig deep and find that tenacity that is needed, that Cobra pride that is needed, and they determine that they will finish school, they will finish strong. My hope is that we all remain consistent and dedicated to the task at hand, and as a result of it, we can look back at the end of the day and say, we did our best. We achieved something that we probably didn't think we would achieve, but we are all the better because of it.
Obviously, you are doing a yeoman's job in this COVID environment. So all the best for the rest of the school year, and thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you too. And if I may say, I would just like to really thank the hardworking administrators, the fine teachers, the support team of this school that over the last few months have done a dynamic job. We would like to also thank those school partners who have donated to the school, tablets and any number of things. And of course, we want to thank the parents of Cobra Country for their continued support.
Excellent. Thanks again, Mrs. Roll.
Thank you too.
Here are today's fun facts. Fact 1. The smallest bone in your body is in your ear. The stapes is a bone in the middle ear of humans, which helps conduct sound vibrations for identification. It is only roughly 0.04 inch or 1 millimeter in size. Fact 2. Honeybees can get drunk on fermented tree sap. It affects bees in a similar way that alcohol affects humans, causing flying accidents and making it difficult to get back to the hive. Sober bees at the hive will attack the drunken bees to prevent them from entering the hive. Fact 3. A person adds 37 million bacteria to a room every hour. Now, this might sound really gross, especially for you germaphobes. However, most of the bacteria spiced in a room coming from a person's result from stirring up the room's current bacteria, as well as adding your own. That concludes our Fun Facts segment. Great teachers are definitely great motivators. Today's star teacher is doing just that at H.O. Nash Junior High School, Lavette Strawn.
She is head of the Religious Studies Department, Religious Studies and Family Life. She is also our Teacher of the Year from 2019 to 2021. Ms. Strawn is a dedicated, hardworking, motivated, self-motivated teacher who loves her students. She really don't call them students, she calls them her children. She is involved in almost every aspect she was house coordinator one time, dealing with students with sports and also with cheerleading. She's a part of our decoration committee now, helping out any special events we have. She's a part of that. Also, she is very involved in a church, very spiritual person, Anglican. And she's just all around a meek, humble lady, who's dedicated to the education of our youth. She's reserved, okay, very friendly, always with a smile. She don't really get in no gossip or mix up. And she is, like I said, a modest lady, okay? She loves her work and she's very committed to her students and also the students' parents. She has a good communication system with them. She is passionate about her job, okay? You don't have to micromanage her, okay? You just give her a task and she will take it all the way to the end. All right, and because of her passion, it's phenomenal, okay? She will go beyond sometimes the call of duty, okay? And even she helps a lot in giving you ways to improve the educational system or whatever she has to do in concerning her responsibilities.
Today's student in the spotlight is a shining star at C.W. Sawyer Primary School. His name, Eric Bodie.
Eric is one of those type of students you can leave him to do anything and he's going to get it done. He's very mannerly. He's very helpful. From what I've seen working with him for this first year, I can see that he is a leader. And even with his academics, he's on top of things. I don't have to ask him twice about one assignment. As soon as that assignment is given, that is done. Other than being prefect, even assisting with the virtual, I realize sometimes the students may not understand what I'm saying, or if I ask a question and I may not be able to hear what they're saying, he will come back and say, well, Ms. Riley, this person said X, Y, Z. Or if they're having a problem with another question, he will say, well, maybe I can help. So he is one of those outstanding students that just goes beyond just being a regular student. He is a leader. He is not a follower. Any mandate, any task you give him, he's very professional with it. Recently, we had an assembly, and I just gave him a short little part to say. And in no time, he knew that part, and I was like, wow, because some students, it will take them a while to get it, but with him, he was a leader. He spoke professionally. Even with the assembly, his dress code alone was professional. So the way that he carries himself, he is definitely a leader.
Here are a few of MOE's calendar highlights for the month of February. For more information on these events and others, visit the ministry's website at ministryofeducationbahamas.com. Well, that concludes our show. Thank you so much for joining us. For Ed Up, I am Adama Williams.